Okay, welcome back. Now we have our basic uh, part here blocked out, and this is actually barely going to be seen at all. This is, again, basically our starting point for our extractions, okay? And this is pretty high. It's 100,000 polys or so, but I'm just going to use it, like I said, as kind of a starting point. So I'm just going to shape this a little bit, make sure it's has a decent roundness to it. Um, and I'm going to use this, like I said, to start our extraction here. So I have my lasso tool, and I'm just going to lasso myself a a bit of this back here. That's all we got to do, and let's extract. And I think I'm going to keep this uh, relatively thin, but that could be too thin. Let's try that again. Let's check it out. Yeah, probably a little too thin. I'm also going to do, before I extract this, cut that back a little bit. So let's make this 0.011. That should be pretty good. Let's accept that. And so now we can see it's got a decent thickness to it. Let's get rid of that mask. Select this guy. Get rid of that mask. And now we can just go ahead and do our cutting. And again, once again, not to worry. I'm not going to I'm not going to keep this going the entire time. But just it's not a bad idea to kind of, like I said, to kind of get the occasional repetition in for this kind of thing. All right, so this looks pretty good from here. From up top, I just want to give this a shot. Sometimes I like to try. Sometimes I like to try things which are just doomed to fail, but I can't help myself. So I'm going to just try and cut out a little piece here. Actually, I'm going to go up here and turn on symmetry first so that I can cut it a little more easily. I can just go halfway and take care of that, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen for us. So, I would love to have a certain notched part here, and that worked actually pretty well. So, okay, so a little bit of an artifact there, and that's not even, I wouldn't say little. I'd say it's fairly significant, but maybe we can fix that too. There we go. Cut that right down. I don't see it. You don't see it. Let's pretend that no one sees it. And I'm going to just tweak this a little bit, make sure it kind of follows that pathway a little bit. You look at this guy, we see, it's got some extra extractions going on. So with this right here, extracted like this, I'm going to grab this piece, and I'm just going to move it upward a little bit, like that. And I'm going to go back to my original, and go back to when I had that mask on there, and I still do. And I am going to extract another piece. So let's just extract another piece out of there and accept it. And I just want to have a bit of a piece right there underneath there. I want to feel like there's kind of a actually, before I do that, let's delete that. Let's just tweak the mask a little bit here. So I don't need for this to come all the way down there like this. I want this to be further back. So let's use our mask and just work on it that way. And I can just get rid of this part. Okay. And I'm just going to now extract that. And I'll make this a lot thinner. Not a lot thinner, but somewhat thinner, so that it isn't quite so high up. Except this. And let's grab this guy and do the same thing we did with the other one. Let's cut it. Okay, it doesn't need to be overly crazy. I don't know how much we're going to see of it in terms of the under part, but there we go. And now, if I bring that other thing back, we're going to have a little bit of a double version here. I want to get this guy though and fix it, because it's definitely not looking the way I want it to look. I want to rotate it back a little bit. What I should do is just duplicate this, but I'm actually okay with that. I think I'm going to stick around with that. Now, I'm going to isolate this, because I think what happened was, you can see when I cut this, when I extracted this, the mask went through. So I actually have two pieces, which of course we don't want. Let's hide that one and hit delete hidden, and then bring our other guy back, and you can see the same thing happened here. So auto groups, keep that, delete hidden, and now we have our pieces back. Okay, now I can go to this piece here, and let's try cutting some pieces out a little bit here. That's not what I want to do. Definitely not what I want to do. So let's go here, cut that out. I'm just trying to spice things up a little bit, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I really wanted to keep that up there, so maybe I'll just cut this out like so. And what I could probably do is just get rid of this piece. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah. I'll get rid of this guy again. Sorry about that, but you know, like I said, I like to try. I'm kind of a messy worker. I like trying different things just to see, and you know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think sometimes it's good to see that this is, you know, that not everything is always, you know, done exactly the way you want it to do the first time. And at least for me, it pretty much never happens that way. So, you know, that's maybe something for some folks that does happen that way, and that's awesome. I envy those people, but it sure as heck doesn't work that way for me. I am very much, like I said, I'm a very messy worker. I like trying different things and seeing if I can make them work better, or find a different way of doing it, or, you know, quite frankly, sometimes I just don't know the best way to do it, and I'm not, you know, but you just learn by doing, essentially, and that's what this is. And it can be, like I said, it can be messy, it can be sloppy in terms of, you know, whether or not it's a smooth running operation. Nothing I do is smooth running, I can tell you that. But you know, it's just a matter of keep trying. So and eventually you'll find things that work for you. And you know, I am still, in fact, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this training in particular was because one of the things that I was definitely not, you know, comfortable with, at least not in terms of having done it a lot, was hard surface modeling in ZBrush. Usually when I did hard surface modeling, it was in Maya, you know, because you know, Maya is much more intuitive in certain ways to make tools. I mean, to make hard surface things. I mean, you know, extrude and edge loops and those kinds of things are much more straightforward in a program like Maya or 3D Max. But ZBrush has some real advantages going for it in terms of the kinds of shapes you can create and how easily you can create them. But like I said, you know, there are trade-offs, and you know, one of the trade-offs is you have these. You're working with clay, and trying to get hard surfaces done with clay is a little bit on the tricky side. So now we have this other part in the back here, which is kind of a saddle. And again, you know, you're going to love this. You're going to be shocked by this, probably, because it's so rare that we use the extraction method. But we're going to use the extraction method, and like this, and I'm just going to get rid of that so that we don't have anything too close to the edge. And let's go to my mask curve tool, and alright, so that's all I want to do. And I'm just going to extract this, make this 0.012. Oh, see, had a bit of a mask floating around over here, which did not belong. So let's get rid of that. There we go. So, like I said, you know, I always actually very much admire the guys at DT who do this stuff, because they don't seem to have the same kinds of problems that I do. they know what they're doing, and everything is very sure-footed. And when I do things, that's, you know, it's always a wonderful surprise when things do what they're supposed to do. It's also a rather rare surprise, as you've no doubt noticed. But you know, eventually things get done, and eventually, you know, you learn what things you probably don't want to do in order to achieve them, and what things seem to work for you. And this is kind of, you know, what I'm doing right here. You know, this whole extraction clipping thing, this is this is something that again I haven't done a lot because I don't tend to do hard surface modeling in ZBrush by as a rule. So the fact that I get to do it now and try out different things is really exciting for me. So I'm going to grab another. Oops, I'm going to grab another mask thing we got going on here, and I want to make this a little bit more, make this extraction a little bit more, have a little more going on in it. Seem to be not using symmetry right now, so let's make sure we're using symmetry. I want to, I'm not going to start with this, but I want to start with a mask that is pretty much in line with the rest of this. Not much different than that in that sense, but I want to extract with some holes or some circles in there. So here's my mask lasso, and not mask lasso, I want my mask curve. Control and Alt to deselect some parts of this mask to keep it nice and sharp. And like I said before, you can sharpen it before or after by using your clip curve or so forth, but I think it's always a better idea to try and keep it pretty good now, because the clip curves have a limit, obviously. So let's go here and mask circle, and I'm going to hold down Control and Alt, and I'm just going to, oh boy, that's not what I want to do. There you go. Like I said, sometimes when I first make a choice on my my pop-up menu there, it doesn't quite register with ZBrush the first time. So it's just a thing to keep in mind here. So I have some circles here. So now when I extract this, there's a tiny bit of a circle there. It's not much to see. Let's make this thickness much less. Okay, I'm going to accept this. All we need really is there to be the hint of a hole there, because now, once that's the case, we can use our clip circle brush, and that should work for us. Now, the issue I'm going to have here, is that because this is going to go through this, it's not going to work, because this will cut right through it. So let's delete this, and we'll just do half this right now. So let's go back to our last guy here, and I'm going to go from this view, turn off symmetry, and go to my mask rectangle and hold Control and Alt, and just cut this right in half. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll cut it so that there's an opening in the middle there. Okay, so now I'll do my extract, and so now I don't have to worry about that. Now I can just duplicate this over when I'm done with it. Alright, so let's go to our cut brushes here, and I'm going to start with my clip circle center. Hold down Control and Shift and click and drag, and then hold down Alt to make that hole. There it goes. Now it seems like there's some extra pieces back there, which I'll just get rid of in a minute. This is probably the result of, once again, the mask just going through. And I'm not even, if the circles aren't exactly perfect, I will survive, as Gloria Gaynor once said. Let's see one more time here. I'm now quoting Gloria Gaynor. So I can tell it's late. I always quote Gloria Gaynor when it's late, though. Okay, so there we go. Let's isolate this, and you can see that's why, because we have two. So let's auto group once again. I've gotten this down to a science. And there's just like anything else, there's probably a way that people avoid having to deal with that. That one day I'll find out, and then I'll feel really stupid. So this circle wasn't exactly what you'd call in line with the rest of them, so I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and maybe this one too. It's one of those things where you keep trimming and trimming and trimming. Next thing you know, there's nothing left. Okay, so for the actual shape here, let's go back to our clip curve, and let's just kind of give this a little of a beveled edge look here, and maybe cut this off a little bit too, making sure it's not getting lippy, and it's not. Good, good, good. And here, I'm going to have this kind of, maybe I'll have that follow the edge a little bit there, like that. That's good. It's not the most awesome thing in the world, but I'm going to have some clips on here too. So I'm going to go to my draw, insert mesh brush, spaceship. Man, I do love that spaceship, and I love it mostly for these little clips here. I just think these clips do a great job of, well, of clipping things. This actually might be kind of a cool one to put up there. Let's just try it. Who knows? It might look awesome, and it might look terrible. So what I do here, what this is, again, it has this little bit of a indentation on it. So I can rotate this. Yes, this is the famous this is the famous rotation scene that you've heard so much about. that is sweeping the internet. All the rumors are true. I do rotate in this. Okay, so let's rotate this a little bit. Now, ordinarily, I would pause the video while I did this, but you know what? Just this once, we're going to do this together. That's right, together. Why? Because I don't want to suffer alone. All right, so let's put this in place. So this is actually pretty cool. It does a pretty cool job of giving that impression of, you know, a little bit of like a it just keeps it in place, this thing. And it's different. It's just a different thing, you know. And it's got a hole in the middle, and ooh, don't do that. It's got a hole in the middle, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill that hole. I'm going to fill that hole with with something else, because I just never get tired of it. I feel like I'm just on a shopping spree. I just find fun things to put in there. So let's just go to let's expand our horizons. Let's go to our insert parts brush and find a cool topper there. Say something like quite the pickle. Okay, fine. The heck with it. I'm going to go with my old reliable insert machine parts. I tell you, I use these things a lot, don't I? Like a lot. Something like this. I haven't used that, I think, in this whole thing. And this is small enough that it might just look neat. No idea why that would be the thing that that tops this, but you know, I mean, I didn't make the robot. Oh, actually, I did, but I mean, you know what I mean. Okay, so there we go. See, now that's pretty neat. I mean, who knows what it does, but you know, that's fine. So I'll make a duplicate of that, put that over here on the other side probably, or maybe just keep that one. Maybe I'll just keep that one. Yeah, I think I'll keep that one. On top though, oops, on top, oh, where the heck did it go? There we go. On top though, I think that this is crying out for something here. You know, so let's just go shopping. And I know exactly what I'm going to go. I'm going to grab these little capsules. Just cute little things that go on top. You know, they just sit there. They look so cute. So I'm just going to go on top here and just draw this on like that. No idea what they do, but you see them and you think to yourself, well, sure they do something very important. Otherwise, they wouldn't be at the top of this robot's back. They wouldn't. They'd be somewhere else, under his bed or something like that. So the fact that they're here, that means that he just couldn't get by without them. Which means, of course, they probably hold coffee, because, you know, what else could you possibly need that much? Okay, so this part here, every time I do that, I have to stop doing that. I really do. But every time I see this, it bothers me more. So I'm going to go to my clip brush here and just clip it. Or perhaps I should actually have the thing selected that I'm going to clip. It's just crazy enough to work. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. There we go. Now I feel better. I really do. Okay. I'm going to reverse these things over here. Probably add some more doodads on the back here, or some, seeing as how we have absolutely none. And in the next video, we'll finish tricking out to this with detail and start working on the other parts, because as you can see, we have some things to do in this little area up here, and then we have to bring in this other thing filled with clips. Look at all these things. Oh goodness, we are going to be under here. We're going to be a busy people. So next video, we're going to start finishing up this back part, and then we'll start moving toward the actual face. See you then.